In this video, I will show you how to add a request using the Asizu web interface. You can add a simple request, add a request that is due on or scheduled for a specific date, and add a request that will repeat at a specific interval. Let's start by adding a simple request. To do this, click on the plus button on the left. If you want your customer to fill in the details of the request themselves using an online form or to send you a request using the Asizu app, copy the link to your company and send it to the customer. If you want to load the request on behalf of your customer, you can do it in one of three ways. Firstly, if a customer used your services in the last 4 months, their name will appear on the list below. Because we are just starting, this list is empty for now. Secondly, if you know they are already using the Asizu app, you can type their name or surname in the search form and click the Find button. If the customer you are looking for is in the list, click on the plus button next to their name. And finally, you can generate a request against a customer using their cell phone number. Once you click on the Add Request button, you can generate the request. No matter how you ended up here, either by using an existing customer, finding an Asizu app user, or by using the cell phone number, the new request form will look similar. If this is the wrong customer, click on the X button to return to the previous page. At the top of the form, you will see if this is a new customer or an existing customer, and if the customer is registered on the Asizu app or not. If it is an existing customer, their name will be displayed. If it is a new customer, you will need to add their name and surname as part of the form. You can add an optional due date for when the request is due to be completed or actioned. Add a title for the request. The title is a way to quickly identify each request in your request list. This can typically be an address or a quick instruction, like water leak or install battery. Add a message for the request. This is a more complete instruction of what needs to be done. You can also attach a document or photo using the plus button. Click on the Send button to create the request. Here you can see the request chat window. At the top is the title and the status of the request, followed by the chat window, showing your initial message. If you close the chat using the X button, you will see that your dashboard is now alive because you have requests. If you click on the plus button again, you will see the customer you just used in your previous customer list. Now, I am going to add another request, but for a specific due date. Once it is added, you will see two differences. Firstly, on the left, the due date is displayed above the status, and secondly, in your chat window, there is a note indicating for when the request was scheduled. If you want to add recurring requests, so for example, you need to service a garden every Thursday, you can do this using the calendar. Because we have a scheduled request for the Friday, you will see it on the calendar already. To add a new recurring request for every Thursday, click on the day the request must start. Using the right and left arrow keys, you can quickly navigate to the next or previous days. Click on the plus button for the day you want the request to start to add a new recurring request. This part is exactly the same as when adding a normal request, so find or add the customer as before. This form for adding the request has additional fields specific to scheduling recurring requests. The Scheduled for field is the date when the first request will be generated. Under Repeat, you can specify the interval. For this example, we want it to be weekly. If you want this to stop recurring at some point, specify the last repeat date. If you leave it blank, it will repeat indefinitely. If you want to automatically assign the recurring requests to a specific person, you can select it here. And then add the normal title and message that will be used when the recurring request is generated. When you send the schedule, the first request will be generated. When you return to the calendar, you will see that the request repeats every week. Future requests are generated at 5 a.m. every morning, but only if the previous request for the recurring schedule was completed. To get the most benefit out of Asizu, load all your jobs as requests. Even if the customer never downloads the Asizu app, you will still have full control of all your job requests.